นื้อเรื่องพิเศษนะของตัวนะจบแต่ในเรื่องนี้เราจะเล่นเป็นพิเศษ
Nice to meet you. Disaster in Golden Cave. My plan was to interview the survivors. But before I left, I received a message from a colleague who'd been out of reach for days. She'd finally obtained an invitation to a lettuce manor with the help of an ingenious disguise. I decided to assume her identity and return to my paradise from long ago. The now infamous manor. My gut told me it might be my only chance to unravel its secrets with my own hands. Hi. I received an invitation. This used to be my favorite spot to play as a child. Playmate would sit at the end of this dining table and scribble down interesting short stories before reading them to me. Someone is using this place. Is he back? What's this? A diary? The girl mentioned in here, Emma Woods. Is she the gardener who went missing in the city? Hunters? What happened to them? These records sound absolutely crazy, but all of them seem linked to the cold case I was investigating. It's getting late, and the servants are about to wake up. I should get back to my room. The content of the diary from my first day of investigation left me restless all night. Those referred to as hunters and those strange events are far beyond reason. But the records do reveal a frightening truth. Perhaps I can only find out what they experienced by experiencing it for myself.
Did you sleep well, miss? Breakfast is served. Feel free to enjoy some in the dining room.
Mr. Orpheus, what does the thing you mentioned earlier refer to?
Around 10 years ago, an Irish nobleman, Manus du Capet, acquired this manor. His noble conduct was very popular. The middle-class families in the vicinity hoped to marry off their daughters to him. But Manus fell in love at first sight with a noblewoman from Austria, Mary. However, Mary grew depressed after the wedding. The depression was attributed to Mary's lack of suitable social venues. Manus built a racecourse for her. The horse races there soon became the hottest social event in town. Everything seemed to be going in the right direction, until Mary committed suicide in the racecourse, and an ominous air filled the place. The tragedy didn't end there. Not long after Mary's death, racehorses galloped out of the track and caused a fatal stampede, ultimately embroiling Manus in a lengthy lawsuit. Maybe it was the pressure from the claimants, or it was the sorrow from the death of his wife. Manus went mad, and he was never seen again. As for the manor, it was sold off by Manus's creditors.
Why is the race course called Kreberg?
Kreberg was the maiden name of the wife of the manor's previous owner.
It seems like he really loved his wife. So why did Mary take her own life?
There are many theories about that. Some say Mary had an affair with a jockey, and she was condemned for it. She couldn't take the pressure, and took her own life. Of course, some say it was a murder, disguised as a suicide. After all, there's always a price to pay for being unfaithful. Just like those insects, right, Mrs. Plinius?
I didn't expect you to be so interested in etymology, Orpheus. However, insects are unlike humans. They do not betray easily because there is more than a single price to pay. Speaking of which, we have a Kreberg with us too.
I'm sorry to say that I'm French. Forgive me, but I wish to rest a while longer. I'll see you in the afternoon.
It's common knowledge that the Mary from Austria, whose head and her crown fell together, was from France.
I'm going to continue my research in the greenhouse. I'll see you both in the afternoon.
I plan to have another look at the collection in the living room. See you in the afternoon, Miss Reporter.
อีกถ้ามีตัวได้ตอนนั้น
There seems to be more to their relationships. I should get a better understanding of my playmates before the game begins. I'll start with the famous novelist. Mr. Orpheus, you're interested in music too?
It fascinates me, but unfortunately I'm not good at it. Do you play the piano, Miss Reporter?
เอาเป็นว่า
A little.
ก็ไม่รู้บ้างมานิดนึง
Ah, then why don't you play me a song?
สักเพลงเนี่ย
I'll tell you about my new book in return.
The White Stallion of Death?
Huh? That story's been finalized. It's another story that I'm working on. A story that's even more fascinating.
Asset of Memory ตอน2คุณชมวันนี้ตอนที่2
Everyone seems to be hiding a secret. Perhaps I can start with that mysterious novelist and gather some useful information. Strange. Mr. Orpheus isn't here. Maybe I can have a chat with Mr. Kreberg. Was that Mr. Kreberg? Where is he going? I lost him. I must find a place with a better view.
Huh? Who's there?
It's...
Mr. Orpheus. It would seem none of us are following the rules.
The spirit of exploration isn't a terrible quality. However, exploring aimlessly is usually futile. Isn't that so, Mr. Kreberg from Austria?
What do you know?
I investigated all the assets of this manor before coming here, including this racecourse that is named after your family, and the legend of the cornflowers. Oh, and Blue Hope.
Please, do tell.
In its prime, the Kreberg racecourse was a renowned racecourse where even its popular horses were quite famous. The most famous among them was the racehorse that came to be known as the White Steed of Death. During every race, its rider would invite a lucky lady to pin a flower on it as a victory blessing. And the lucky lady was usually Mary. As for the flower she chose, it was the cornflower. The cornflower, which symbolizes a happy encounter, soon became ironclad evidence used by the people to slander her and the writer of an impure relationship. They seem to have forgotten that the horse went berserk and caused a trampling incident later on. The white steed of death was once known as Cyanus. It was a symbol of love that Manus had gifted to Mary. And they forgot that the cornflower had always been the crest of Mary's family, just like the one on your tie.
If what you've said is true, is it wrong that I've come here to pay my respects to a late relative of mine?
Oh. So Manus buried Mary here. Someone offered a high price for the location of Mary's grave back then, to pay homage to a beautiful lady who died unjustly. Yet their search came up empty. Later on, some rumors surfaced about Manus going mad and taking her remains with him.
They don't seek to pay homage to her. All they want is that gem.
Aren't you the same?
I'm not interested in that cursed thing.
What a pity. You may have heard that besides being a novelist, I'm also a detective. And finding things just happens to be what detectives are good at. I even plan to help out a little, in exchange for some things.
In exchange for what? Deal.
So, where should we start?
After Mary passed away, my family sent multiple letters to Manus asking for the dowry to be returned. Especially Blue Hope. But Manus never wrote back. Until the day he went missing and someone brought a letter from him to Mary's father.
She rests eternally at her beloved place and with her beloved.
Mary loved three things from childhood: praise, jewelry, and horses. This is the only place I can think of where all three meet.
After the incident, Manus killed Cyanus to appease the people's anger. So, you think he buried Mary with Cyanus? Along with Mary's favorite gem?
I don't know. That's as far as I can get.
We can start by searching for Cyanus's burial spot. The substance secreted by rotting remains sometimes changes the pH value of the ground, and it takes a long time to restore balance. Perhaps we can try to search for anything unusual at places where a horse may be buried, like the stables, for example.
Mr. Orpheus seemed to be giving me a hint. Cornflower. Remains. Beloved place. No coffin. And these are not human, huh? What's this?
I have to say, you're really sharp, Mr. Kreberg. You have the makings of a detective.
Oh no, someone's coming.
You have an analytical mind, Mr. Orpheus. But being too brilliant may not always be a good thing.
Looks like someone beat us to it.
Oh? Isn't it you and your companion who beat me to it? Mr. Orpheus? Show yourself. If I'm not wrong, it's you, Miss Journalist. Bring that box over and put it down on the ground here. Get over there. Turn around and don't look back until you hear a gunshot. Otherwise, it will be the last thing you hear.
It's in our best interest to listen to him. There are calluses on his palm, so we should be good with a gun.
Mr. Orpheus, don't you think it's strange? Mary's coffin isn't here. So where did Manus take her?
That depends on what Mary loves more than horses, jewelry, and praise.
What was that? Maybe we should leave this place first.
Then now... Who is that?
Who is...
Mary นั่นเองท่านผู้ชมครับเรื่องนี้เป็นความตื่นเต้นนะครับ
I'll distract her! I'll leave the rest to you! Where's Mr. Orpheus? Alice.
Eurydice.
Someone is calling out to me. That voice. He's calling. I'm here.
I'm happy to see you awake. Mrs. Plinius said you fainted in the greenhouse. Fortunately, Mr. Orpheus was there. I've sent for the doctor in the city, but the storm last night destroyed the roads, so they can't return for now. But Mr. Orpheus is knowledgeable about medicine, and according to his preliminary diagnosis, you seem to be fine. I've instructed the kitchen to prepare some liquid food for you, and I'll go get it immediately.
Thank you. May I know how I got back here?
I found you unconscious at the racecourse's entrance. Perhaps you fainted from fear or shock? I carried you back here. I ran into Mrs. Plinius at the gate. I was forced to ask for Mrs. Plinius's help to prevent the others in the manor from learning that we took action on our own.
Where's Mr. Kreberg? Did he come back here?
I'm not sure. No one has seen him. Mrs. Plinius, the servants, none of them have seen him.
It depends on whether the servants are telling the truth. In fact, I've been in the greenhouse all day, so I don't know if anyone has gone in or out of the main building.
He ran away?
I've been to his room, and all his belongings were still there.
If that gem was his objective, then he has achieved it. Perhaps he felt it would be too risky to return and get his belongings?
When I said all, I meant the gem as well.
That's so unusual.
So I have reason to believe that he may be watching in secret. I've told Mrs. Plinius about the incident at the racecourse, and it seems the situation here is more dire than I ever imagined. Although I know there's no such thing as a free meal, I don't want to suffer an accident before the banquet even begins. Obviously, we must be wary of the elusive Mr. Kreberg right now. So in my opinion, it's always better to have more allies.
I agree. Then perhaps we should be more honest with each other, for the sake of our temporary alliance. For example, building trust by starting with the reason we're here. This manor's reputation isn't the best. I'm sure some materials in a specimen are not worth taking such a risk.
An article isn't worth it either. I don't mind. What about you, Mrs. Plinius?
I agree.
Then, who will go first?
In order to show my sincerity, I will go first. My presence here is linked to my husband's death. As reported by the papers, his cause of death was a type of rare bee venom. Although it's a rare occurrence in the field of biology, it isn't unheard of. I wasn't suspicious at first, but while sorting through my husband's belongings, I discovered that he hadn't recorded those bees in his observation notes. My husband was an extremely meticulous person, toward people and even more so toward his research. So there shouldn't have been an unrecorded species of bees in his apiary. And not too long ago, I received a bee specimen from this manor, and it was the exact rare bee species. He invited me to a game here, and in exchange, he would provide information on that bee species and the cause of my husband's death. Who's going next?
Then I'll go ahead. I said that I was here to gather material, and it wasn't entirely a lie. But the subject of the material is me. My father owned this manor before Manus did. He was a kind and gentle man who loved art and doing charity work. Our family lived happily here, but his kindness did not receive the reward it deserved. The forest ranger we hired colluded with bandits. They killed my parents and ransacked the manor. I managed to survive by hiding in the cellar. Later on, a relative of mine placed me in a nursery and sold off the manor to Manus at a low price. As for the bandits and forest ranger that destroyed my family, they've gone missing. I've been searching for them throughout these years, but I always come up empty. This went on until not too long ago when the newer owner of the manor sent me something and claimed to possess clues on the forest ranger's whereabouts. And the clue
แล้วเงินก็
is the game's prize.
What did he give you?
A piccolo.
ตอนนั้นพวกโจร
It was what the bandits used to trick the guards into opening the manor's gates back then. All right, Miss Journalist,
คนข่าว
tell us your story.
คนให้ฟังว่า
Come in.
Miss, I've brought you dinner.
พร้อมแล้ว
Dinner is served for everyone else as well. Please enjoy your meal on the first floor. Lisa will take care of her.
Too many things have happened today. Miss needs some rest. And we can continue tomorrow.
That dream again. Maybe it's a warning. A warning for me to finish this as soon as possible. According to my colleague in my investigation, the main character in every story written by Orpheus has links to cold cases. They're either the victim or suspect. And in the latest story, I am the character. Bandits, Piccolo, forest rangers. It's obvious he knows the past very well. And his knowledge may even surpass the police files. He knows it so well that it's suspicious. If he wasn't a participant, he must have been a survivor. According to my knowledge, the only possible living survivor of the incident is... Could it be him? But I feel like I've missed something in his story.
The forest ranger we hired colluded with bandits. They killed my parents and ransacked the manor. I managed to survive by hiding in the cellar.
Wait, cellar. As far as I know, the main building never had a cellar. At least not before I left. Was it just a mindless mention? Or... There's still time before dawn. I can use the stormy night to restart my investigation. Nothing happened. The symbol and records are linked to its effects. If Siren represents terrifying hallucinations, then what does Mnemosyne represent? Huh? What's it doing back here? Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? What was that? Alice. Alice? Why am I back here? Was it a nightmare?
Good morning, miss. Breakfast is ready. Please enjoy your meal in the dining room on the first floor. Oh, and a new guest arrived today.
Good morning, miss. This is Mr. Norton Campbell, a new guest.
Good morning, Mr. Campbell. Forgive me, Mr. Butler. It must be an after effect I experienced yesterday. I don't have much of an appetite today. I'll be retiring to my room for some rest.
Of course, miss. Please take care and notify a maid if you need anything.
Miss, considering the state of your health and Mr. Kreberg's sudden disappearance, the Master has made some adjustments to the existing arrangements. You are free to move around the main building today, but please do not leave without permission. And let me know if you need anything.
ว่ามันเรื่องนี้แปลกเพราะว่าข่าวแม่งจะหลอน
What?
ยินดีต้อนรับสู่การล่าเกม